In this Starfield news update video, I will be sharing with you some brand new details on content coming to the game next year. Bethesda have released an extended end-of-year message, and they've revealed even more information on the new content coming to the game. Before we do get into today's video though, make sure you do subscribe to this channel so you won't miss any future news updates on Starfield. So in yesterday's video, I covered a brief message Bethesda posted that they titled the end of year message, and they went over a bunch of stuff coming in 2024, and I said that's probably going to be the last news update for this year. But then a few hours later, after I published that video, they went and put out a more detailed blog post talking about what's coming next year, and this actually answers a bunch of questions that myself and you guys had following what they said previously. This is definitely good. I don't understand why they didn't just release it at the same time, but nevertheless we have it before the end of the year. So in this end of year update for 2023, before Bethesda do get into all of the stuff coming next year, they do say thank you and reveal an updated play count. So there are now over 30 million players that have checked out Starfield since September when it launched, and they also continue to say it's still the biggest launch in the company's history. And then they've put together a really cool infographic with some incredible stats from the last few months. So as you can see, it now has 30 million players. And in terms of actual days played by the entire player base, there are over 22 million, and the average playtime per player is 40 hours. Nearly 2 billion planets have been visited, the ecliptics have caused the most deaths with over 12 million, and there are over 1.6 million Starborn players, plus there have been over 5 million crossings of the Unity. Now we've got those really cool stats out of the way, let's talk about 2024. So Bethesda say that they are cooking up a lot of things for Starfield in the upcoming year. Now, I did say in my previous video that there would be a big update every 6 weeks starting in February. They reiterated that here. These updates will contain features as well as quality of life improvements, plus content. They also say the Steam beta will continue to get updates, so if you do want to check out these updates first, you will be able to keep doing that on Steam, so I'm going to be making videos on that for those of you that don't have the Steam version of the game. I know some of you really do like to see the stuff that comes first. It is a bit disappointing that you have to wait a few weeks, but I will be able to give you video footage and explain the features that are in these updates when they are released through the Steam beta program. On to some brand new features coming to the game, and they actually do clear up some questions we had from yesterday's video. So yesterday Bethesda announced that there would be new ship customization coming to the game, and we were all wondering, well, what does that entail? Well, Bethesda have said that for those of you who love shipbuilding, we'll also be expanding on ship customization with ship decorations, new ship building options, and more. So it sounds like there will be some interior customization coming, as well as new building options and more, whatever that is. So that's good to hear. I just wish they would elaborate more on travel, because they do say here they'll be adding new ways of travelling, but some people think it might be ground vehicles to traverse over planets, whereas others think it's like loading screen, stuff like that. They also do mention again that there will be access to city maps while exploring the major cities. So another thing I talked about in yesterday's video, which was announced yesterday, was the new gameplay difficulty options. And we were wondering, what does that mean exactly? Well, Bethesda have now expanded upon that. So they've said with these new settings, you'll be able to alter your gameplay to allow for an easier or more challenging experience that will expand beyond our normal difficulty setting. These will allow you to easily customize carry capacity, cargo access distance, ship damage, vendor credits, how you suffer afflictions, new survival mechanics, and more. Honestly, this is really good, and it's gone down very well on the subreddit, because a lot of mods have been made to tweak things like this, but having them in the game, especially the console version, is great, and it will allow you to customize the experience on how you want to play Starfield far more, and it can be as hardcore or as easy as you'd like. In terms of mods, they say that official mod support will be coming with the launch of Creations, and it begins early next year. I've been saying it's been early next year, some people have been saying it's going to be at the end of 2024. No, they reiterate here, Beginning early next year, Starfield will be getting its own exporter, and you'll have access to a new creation kit. Modding has always been an enormous part of our games, with the incredible community-made content constantly bringing fresh new experiences. With the scale and systems in Starfield, we can't wait to see what you come up with, and that's probably the reason why it wasn't there at launch as well. Starfield is just so huge and complex compared to the previous games that adding something like this is not an easy undertaking, and that's why it's probably going to have taken 6 months from launch, which isn't that bad. It's not that much more from, say, I think Fallout 4's release. I do feel like this could be a February thing. I really hope so. That would be a huge way to kick off the 6-week updates, I would say, because I think when Creation Kit comes, it will bring a lot of players back to the game, but also a lot of new players who haven't picked up the game yet. In terms of the story DLC, Shattered Space is still coming next year. Bethesda say the team is hard at work on the development for Shattered Space, and it's the first major expansion coming next year. You'll have new story content, new locations, new gear, and much more. We can't wait to share more with you next year. So, people have been speculating what this expansion could be. Well, they've said it will not just have story content, it will have brand new locations. So that's good. I know people have been wanting more locations. There will be new gear and more. We just don't know exactly what that is yet. And some people have been suggesting that this would be the only story DLC. No, they said first major expansion. So there is that to also consider as well. The end of the letter by is saying, thank you so much for all of the amazing feedback and please keep it coming. We do read it all and it guides us in what you really want to see in the game going forward. Thanks again for making 2023 an unbelievable year for us. May you have a great rest of the year and we'll see you in 2024. I'm pretty positive. I know some people have been complaining a lot recently and it's understandable because communication has been not as good as I would have hoped, and I would say the updates have been lacking in the last few weeks or so. However, it's not an exact roadmap in terms of months when stuff is coming, which is disappointing, but they've at least blocked out the main key things that they are definitely more closer to releasing. And they're big things too, like new ways of travelling, as well as mod support, which I think is probably the biggest thing that I see on the comments of my videos that people want the most, because most people do play the Xbox version, and they are just waiting because they've not been able to change up the game with mods until when Creation Kit does come. I would love to hear your thoughts on everything I've talked about in this video, so please let me know down in the comment section below, and remember to drop a like to help support the channel. Subscribe so you don't miss any future videos on this game, and if you did miss any of my previous videos, click on the playlist on screen right now, and I shall see you in my next video. Goodbye.